Hey fam, haven't taken any videos in a while, and yeah, I'm in the dark, or the phone is in the dark. I'm back at my location. Um, I prefer not to really like show that, um, but just wanted to kind of comment on what's been going on lately. I'm not really sure to how to explain it. Besides, it's kind of like a quickening. It's all of a sudden, as I've gotten myself straightened out a little bit, all of a sudden um, things have started to fall into place. The plan, the master plan, the creator's plan is starting to fall into place in different ways. You can see again chaos in the world. It's always going to be chaos, you know, amongst the order, um, because there are so many people who need to go through their own different experiences. They need to live their lives, and their souls need to come to terms with flesh and with reality and with truth. And I think that's one of the things that um, the negative entities who attack me, who try the mind control and everything else, they've been living in lies for so long that when the truth hits them, I don't know if they're able to handle it, or deal with it appropriately, because they live in such lies and deceit. Um, you know, there's so many things that have happened, in the past. It's, I try not to harbor on them. I try not to hold on to it. But, sometimes I do reflect, and especially when it comes to safety. Um, again, these entities live in a world of lies, and so when you live like that, everything is on the table for manipulation. And I've had experiences with, and they tried to keep it hidden in secret, but these people entering your home and desecrating your home with putting up um, sensors and tracking things that can track you, possibly video cameras, audio. People tap your phones on a regular basis. That was a normal thing for me. I already knew like any phone that I got would be immediately hacked, and anything that was on it would be duplicated, would be stared at, and even the one I'm using now probably is hacked. Um, One of the things that I experience is when I go to certain websites or use certain programs like on Reddit, it just crashes, just constantly crashing. And also this you can tell when the battery life just is drained, just for nothing. What's going on, and you realize that whatever you're doing, that information is being uploaded, broadcasted in different ways. Um, so I think right now, some of us are dealing with entities who've been avoiding the truth and have been manipulating things, to create a new truth, um, their reality, and they're having growing pains or something. Something's going on where it's just not happy, and I'm getting obviously a lot of the flack from it, and it it varies in so many different ways. Lately, I've been riding my bike a lot, so they've been doing this thing where there are people, like if someone passes me on a bike on one of if someone's like a professional, it looks like they train every day, and they're riding, and they got one of those fancy bikes, one of those fancy $4,000 or $5,000 bikes or more, and their suits. If they pass me, the negative entities or the mind control is like, why don't you keep up? Competition, blah 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 blah. It's and they do things like this to shame you, and I know I've been doing some meditation sessions, so uh, I don't know what it is on their end. Maybe they can't steal, they can't manipulate, or something's going on where the normal status quo is no longer normal status quo, and they're having issues with compensating or being able to deal with that. And so they're trying to, I guess they're reaching in their bag of tricks and trying to do more tricks and shaming and whatever the case may be, whatever they can do to steal and continue their status quo in their lives. Um, and so for me, I've just, been trying to continue to push forward and, you know, look at things truthfully, even with myself, in my own current situation. I recently am divorced, and, you know, um, just reflecting on that and that relationship and everything that came with it. And, my new truth is that I'm free from it. And I think that that's been a major issue with some of these entities that have latched on in different ways. Been doing this for a very long time, several years, like 4 years or so. For me, that's a long time of kind of being tortured. So they've latched on, and the truth is that they are going to have to let go, and they don't like that. And especially if you're an energy source, it's a very troubling thing, I guess, for them to, especially if they're parasitic, to realize that they're going to have to let go. And they maybe had this plan. I'm sure it's much more complicated than I could ever explain, especially all the things I've been through. But it's quite a thing. When you attempt to calculate and manipulate and change things to fit your narrative, and you've been going step by step trying to imitate, like, um, on a daily basis I hear people talking about Jesus Christ and Jesus this and Jesus that, and it's just an imitation. Not the real deal, not the real thing. And you know they've gone, if you look at the society, they've really gone out of their way to change the narrative, to change the truth, and people have to really exercise and use discernment in order to get past the tricks, get past the lies. And for some of us, this is happening. And I believe a beautiful vibration, a beautiful spirit is reconnecting with us, if we allow it. And it's true. It's truthful. Okay, it's all about the truth and acknowledging the reality of your situation. And I don't think it's going to tolerate lies. And just like I refuse to tolerate lies, in your own life, if you have a relationship with someone, are you going to tolerate them lying to you? How can you trust them? How can you have a relationship with anyone that is just lying to themselves, that's lying to you, and doing a great many of other things that are just inappropriate? So, I mean, I don't know how else to, do this video besides I think that we're moving into a different era of truth, especially as you see all these false flags going on, all these lies, actors, um, just everything that, gang stalking, you know, um, people going on record, like I heard Rudy Giuliani going on record saying that it's not black people, it's not police officers that need to um, gain more respect. It's black people that need to tell their children to respect cops. And the quote isn't exact, but basically he said that, you know, despite blacks being victims, they need to learn how to respect cops. And you realize that that person's obviously possessed, obviously a negative entity, um, with no compassion or understanding, or maybe they just basically worked for the machine, and they have another, they work in the lies, and they're trying to manipulate. I know that they're doing this whole gun control agenda, and one thing I do know is that police officers are pretty much um, a fraternity of um, evil, and so negative entities work in and outside of them on all levels, and so that's the level of truth that they have not acknowledged. So how can you respect anything that you know lives in that paradigm of lies, that reality of lies? So for me, I mean, once you start understanding and learning the truth, it really kind of, you have to take a step back and realize that they just they've just done so many fucked up things that at this point is just normal everyday behavior to create a false flag, and just to continue the narrative. Anyway, so from what I can tell is that the spirit is just, it doesn't have any interest in dealing with lies and deception, and lives in truth. And if you want to come along board, you gotta live in that truth also, and that means a lot of different things. Um, Even when you're interacting with people, like I've had when I go and get food at this homeless place, I've had people come up to me and talk to me now, and their truth maybe not your truth, and that's just something you have to acknowledge and realize, but don't allow them to force upon their truth on you. Again, I hear a lot of this Jesus Christ thing. When volunteers come, a lot of them are church people, and they say this and they say that, and I'm respectful, and I'm very thankful that they came out and did these things, but I also realize that it's almost a recruitment tool, and like today, I got attacked I was standing in line, and these people with their Bible shirts on, and while at the same time conducting an attack. And there were a lot of Asians, and they were Asian church, and it's just sad to me that these people use a mask of lies to get close to you, to hurt you, and you know that's the lie, that's the deception. And if you don't know it's coming, if you can't tell what's going on, then you can easily become a victim. And it's coupled with mind control, it's coupled with the jinn and the children, and this whole lie of the religion. And you're just gonna have to exercise more discernment, and live in truth. And even if they try to touch you, they're not going to be able to keep you. They may be able to they may graze by you or whatever. You may have to still experience them, but they no longer will have the power over you that they did, as long as you live in truth. And love the Creator, love life, love nature, be a part of it. And don't live in the deception, don't live in the lie, and your power will come back to you. Anyway, peace and love, fam. Hope all is well.